Hello everyone and welcome to WD18, the Watford fan channel, and we have started a new series called the WD18 podcast. Our first guest on today is Jude Baines, the Watford Hornet. Do you want to say hello, Jude?
Hello everyone, what's going on?
So yeah, Jude's the first guest on this series. We've got a number of topics to talk about, quite topical at the minute. Richarlison, obviously, just today, this is recorded on the Wednesday, so he's just been about to be granted his work permit, or it's going to be rejected, so we'll have to wait and see how that deal progresses. But yeah, we'll start on Richarlison. So Jude, what do you think of this player we've been linked with kind of quite heavily in the last week? Obviously, some say the kind of deals around 11.2 million, some say between like 13 million. But yeah, do you think it will be a good buy into the squad?
It's nice to see us kind of, it could be a bit of a risk, but it's nice to see us having a little bit of confidence in this player, spending, between 11.2 million, 13 million for him. He's young, only 20. I think he had a decent season. Didn't play too many games, but people that I've heard talk about him said really rate this guy, to be fair, from Fluminense.
Yeah, Fluminense. People were saying he was like, I think it's a bit early days, but they were saying he kind of models himself on Neymar, to be fair. But I was just looking at his stats for Fluminense. He's played 42 games, scored 9 goals, which isn't too bad. I mean, he's quite young, so obviously we're spending quite a bit of money on a youngster. And we're going to have to wait and see about the work permit, whether he's going to be granted that. I was listening to Sky Sports just today as I tweeted out on the WD18 Twitter that we may have to loan him out, or we're just going to have to reject the deal if it's not possible to give him a work permit. But I don't think... Well, can you see him actually being loaned out, or the Pozzo's like taking him in to loan him out? Or do you think...
No, I don't. I don't see us paying over 10 million for a player and loaning him out and not bringing... Because, I was reading this couple of things. People have different opinions about whether he'll be granted a work permit or not. Some people think because he's over 10 million that he will be granted a work permit, like Success. They're using like example of Success and also Peñaranda being denied one who cost under 10 million. Not sure exactly how much the fee was, but hopefully that's true. But then again, other sources saying like, because he's nowhere near the Brazil first team, only playing I think it's like getting 10 appearances for Brazil's under 20s, and it's different opinions. I guess we'll see very soon, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, like, I was hearing rumours, I was reading a couple of articles that his wages kind of total up a month to around 250 grand a week, which is around 55 grand a week, 250 grand a month. And I don't think, like you said, the Pozzos would invest that amount of money. That is a big sum of money for a youngster. I mean, just the fee on its own, like 11.2 to 13 million, that is pretty big. And you saw with Peñaranda and you saw with Success, like these players haven't really kind of shone through yet. We haven't seen the best of them, but obviously Peñaranda hasn't had a chance yet because of his work permit and having to be sent out on loan. But Success didn't really get game time under Matsari, so yeah, it will be interesting to see whether this deal actually does go through or whether it falls through. But another player who has been linked with a move to Watford and has had kind of bad times at Arsenal is Kieran Gibbs. He's been rumoured on a number of occasions with Watford, and Watford have become the front runners in the race to sign the English 28-year-old. But apparently wages are a problem. Now, a lot of people are saying 15 million for an English left-back like Gibbs. I know he's English, so it's obviously the price is going to go up quite dramatically. But do you think it would be a good buy for Watford? Do you think we could get better out there, or do you think it's a player that we should really be looking at kind of quite seriously?
Honestly, not. I really don't rate Gibbs. I mean, bench warmer. I don't. To be fair, Arsenal. He has been for the last couple of years, but no, it's just about to be 28, I think. Just looking at this, it's Wikipedia. Yep. But I think we can do much better. I don't really rate his attitude towards, again, just sitting on the bench for money, and
Yeah,
it's true. I would think Watford can do much better. And did you say like it was 15 million?
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. I
yeah.
think it was the Daily Mail and the Mirror who were reporting that it's around £15 million. So I don't know if Watford would. I mean, by the looks of it, I mean, I was hearing Mark Silva. I was reading something about him that he wants to bring in more English players to the club, and that he was kind of reiterating that the only language the players would speak is English. Not like last season under Matsari, but I mean, you're paying a lot more for probably a foreigner who you could get for similar quality and for like 10 million less. So I think I agree with you that Gibbs just wouldn't be a good investment.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I've got again. It's just he's not that young, like prospect anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming through Arsenal, but he's nearly 28 and he's not proved himself again. Lots of negativity towards Kieran Gibbs actually that I've been reading about. So
yeah,
I've got to really agree with the majority on this one.
Yeah,
to be fair,
I think a lot of people are very sceptical of this signing. I mean, you've got to just look at his wages. I think he's on massive wages, and that's the problem with other Arsenal players. You look at Wilshere, you look at Gibbs. These are players that have been kind of just been, well, Wilshere's a poor example, but Gibbs has just been content, like you said, just sitting on the bench, not getting a lot of game time, and just taking the money, really. And you look at Wilshere, I mean, I do feel a bit sorry for him because he has got injured, but at least he's actually trying to go out on loan to Bournemouth and trying to get a move away just to get game time. But it just looks like Gibbs is content being a kind of just a substitute, really. He hasn't played that much for England. 10 appearances by the looks of it. He's played for the England 21s 15 times, but 15 million. I mean, you have the question if I don't know if this deal would happen just based on the price. Really, 15 million is ridiculous, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, it's just the current transfer market is absolutely crazy at the moment. I mean, 15 million for Kieran Gibbs.
Yeah,
Nah, just no way I'd take him at Watford.
No, neither. And I was just looking at his salary once again, 2.8 million a year.
Bloody hell!
I know that is a lot of money. So, yeah, I'm not. I think Watford are probably the only destination for him because obviously West Brom pulled out after a 10 million bid was rejected from Arsenal. But now they're valuing him at around 15 million. I really can't see Watford buying him, and I would be a little bit disappointed if we did pick him up for that price. I know he's homegrown, and it would like add another homegrown player to the squad, but is that really worth it? That's the question. But anyway, moving on to the story this week, kind of the big story that Steven Berghuis has left and gone back to Feyenoord. He spent last season on loan at the Dutch champions. A 5.8 million fee for him. We bought him for around 4.6 million, so we have made a profit on him. But I mean, you might have seen my video, my initial reaction. I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see the best of Berghuis. Jude, I don't know how you felt about it, but I was a little bit frustrated, really.
I have to agree. I mean, like you said in your video, there's no point of keeping a player who doesn't really want to be here at the club. But I'm frustrated that he didn't get a chance that maybe he deserved. People were like, when we saw him back in pre-season, lots of people were impressed with him, but then there's always a massive doubt that he was gonna go back to Feyenoord. On Instagram, every Feyenoord fan in the world was when they saw a picture of him, it was just like they're all commenting, "Come back, Steve," and it's clearly it's clear that they wanted him back. I mean, after they got their man, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a very successful loan for Berghuis. He made 30 appearances, scoring 7 goals. But I mean, like I said in my video, if you haven't seen it, I'll leave a card. But it was just so frustrating to kind of just see a man who he has clearly got potential. I mean, I think he didn't really want to go out of his comfort zone. I mean, fair play, he came over to England, but I mean, as soon as he came, Flores, he just didn't really slot into the side. I don't think he was physical enough, to be honest with you. But I didn't mention it, but I remember a game, I think it was at Upton Park. It was 4-2 to West Ham, but I just remember the Twitter reaction after that was Berghuis was the main man. He played really well, and I think we got, like I said, glimmers of what he could do and what he could do on. He's got a great left foot. But yeah, once again, I'm just so frustrated because he did look like a player that could be like a crucial part. And you look at Mazzari last season and Watford, we were crying out for a player like Berghaus who could attack could attack the fullbacks. I mean, when Amrabat got injured, we just lacked someone like that. And yeah, were you frustrated not to see it? I mean, a lot of fans were crying out for Berghaus to kind of get recalled from his loan. Would you agree with that?
I'd say if we, I don't think we should have recalled him for his loan. I mean, because I just don't think Mazzari, then maybe play him one game and then just get fed up with him if he doesn't impress in the first game. He was such a, I'm not even going to talk about him, but yeah, I don't think he would have even done anything if we'd have brought him back, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was disappointing to see him go, and we didn't really kind of get to see the best of him. But yeah, another transfer rumour. This isn't a transfer video, by the way. We'll move on to some other different things. Is Aymen Abdennour, the Moroccan, was linked with a move to Watford, which Mark Silva kind of brushed away. He didn't really kind of make a comment on it. In fact, he kind of pushed himself away from the rumours. Obviously, it would be around £7 million. He plays for Valencia. He's come from Monaco. He's got Champions League experience. He's playing the African Cup of Nations. Obviously, I think he's left-footed. So, would you see this as a replacement for Britos if it does happen? I mean, it does look unlikely at the minute.
I do. I do kind of think this is the kind of player that Watford need to bring in at the moment. I mean, it would be a good, to be fair, a bonus, really. It would be a good signing. Obviously, playing for Valencia now, previously at Monaco, and then before that, Toulouse. So, I mean, looking at his game time at Valencia past couple of years, he hasn't got too many appearances. I think it's 35. And then at Monaco, before they only got 18. But he's a bit more experienced in 4 days as we're making this podcast. He will turn 28, so a bit more experience. I mean, I know we do have experience at the back, but again, just another experienced defender would be good. I don't think we need to invest in a young. Some people probably disagree with me for this, but I think we do need quality. Yeah, I think we do need quality to improve for now, for a defender especially, and maybe not so much going forward. But I think he would be. I think he would be a good signing. 6'2", so quite tall.
Yeah, he would kind of partner Prodal quite well. I mean, big height in the kind of like they're quite big at centre back. But I mean, you look at Abdennour. I mean, he's out of favour at Valencia. Behind last season anyway, behind Mangala and Garay, who kind of just asserted themselves as the first team centre backs. But he's got international experience, like I said, at the African Cup of Nations. 54 appearances for Tunisia, and I mean, I think did I say earlier he was Moroccan? No, sorry, he is Tunisian. But yeah, I mean, I think he would be a replacement for Britos. But I mean, there was rumours that Britos could be going elsewhere. Would you be disappointed to see Britos go? I mean, he's had, I don't know, a lot of people have said he's probably one of the best centre-backs we've had at Watford, anyway, under Flores, but under Mazzari last season, he did look a little bit shaky at times. So what do you think about Britos, and do you think he'll leave this summer?
I think he'll probably will leave. I'm not a massive fan. I mean, he's okay, but again, like you said, shaky at times last season under Mazzari. Although, I mean, when we first bought him a couple of years ago, I always thought his temperament would be a problem, because I think he got 2 red cards in a row exactly before we signed him or something like that. Hasn't really, we've been quite lucky with that. He hasn't really shown that side of him, to be honest. And he's been okay at the back. I mean, has showed signs of being solid, but again, a bit I don't know what the word is, but just not exactly.
He's quite rash.
Yeah, that's the word.
I mean, if you I remember it was literally the first week we bought him under Flores, and I think it was Preston away, and he got sent off for another headbutt, like he did against Morata for Napoli. But yeah, I mean, Britos is a player I do really like. I think he's good on the ball. He's good in the air. His jump is superb. But I just think sometimes he's caught out positioning wise with good strikers, and obviously Premier League strikers are in the top 10 probably take their chances. And I don't know if. I mean, I think Prodal is someone that we're kind of going to have to mould the team around, not just this season, but next season too, because he's a player that could play for a top 6 team, and I'd go as far to say that because I think he could play for a bigger team than Watford. Obviously, no disrespect to us, but we're not as big as the kind of the Evertons and kind of that kind of Southamptons and stuff. So, I mean, I think Prodal would be a good centre back partner for Abdenor. And going back onto Abdenor, I think he obviously is a player that wants to move. I've heard there's a Turkish team. I think it may be Besiktas. Don't count me on that. And there's another team that I forgot, but he has got interest from other teams. That was at Inter Milan, Italian team. So I think he's got better options. He's going to get European football with those other teams. So it'd be interesting to see whether he's going to be swayed by coming into the Premier League. And another centre-back to talk about is Tommy Hoban. Now, this has been going on for a month or so now. West London Sport reported that Hoban has been linked with a move to QPR, and they've showed strong interest towards the Republic of Ireland centre-back. Obviously, he did go out on loan last season to Blackburn and didn't really get... well, I mean, he dislocated his shoulder pretty early on, so in the campaign. So, I mean, he's not going to feature this season, but, Jude, just want to ask you, like, I keep saying disappointed. We're seeing a lot of players leave at the minute, but are you kind of disappointed we didn't get to see... Well, like Berghaus, the best of Hoban, because in those championship year, I think it was 2012-13 when he came into the side, and then 2014-15, he showed great maturity. He was such a young lad as well. I think he's 23, and for him to show such maturity at centre back in a kind of promotion chasing year, I don't think we really got to see the best out of him. But I mean, what do you think of Tommy Hoban? What's your opinions of him?
I mean, I think in the 2014-15 season, sometimes it was, I think I remember him playing like a right or left back occasionally. Yeah. So I think he is a decent player, but again, haven't really seen the best out of him. Dislocated his shoulder at Blackburn. Although realistically, I don't think he was going to actually get any Premier League football out Watford, especially this season, as we've tried to improve the side. Although, again, we got so many centre-backs injured last season that maybe would... Yeah.
But I mean, Kabul he's not exactly the best centre back. But I just think with Hoban, it's because he's come through the academy. He left Arsenal in the youth setup, and then he came to Watford. And I do think he's a Championship player. I don't think he is Premier League. Although when he came into the side when we were in the Championship, he did get a lot of notice from Premier League clubs. But I mean, I think he's one of those where I've said it in my transfer rumour video. I mean, we talked about a lot of transfers, but I said how he's one of those players you just really want to see do well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. To be honest, we all want to see him do well. It's just whether he will. To be honest.
Yeah, I think QPR would be a team that would want to get promoted in the next couple of years. Would be probably the right step for him. But yeah, I think going on loan, giving a bit of more experience. I mean, he's getting into his mid-20s now, so probably wants to get a permanent move. Probably next season, not this season, the season after. So yeah, we'll have to see how that one develops. And now going away from transfers at last, we've finished with the transfers. We're going to go on to Aurelio Gomez's new contract extension, 2-year deal which takes him to 2019 and looks to be the number one for this season. After signing Daniel Bachmann, I think Gomez. I think Daniel Bachmann was only going to be third choice. Pantilimon probably will. I don't know if he will want to go. Alauskas is probably off. But Gomez, I think, what a man Aurelio Gomez is. I'm really happy to see him continue his spell at the club. And Jude, I mean, he's just loved by all the fans, isn't he? Like, he's just a great man to have around the club.
Yeah, he is. Exactly. He's just his smile is so like contagious, if you know what I mean. Like, when you see him celebrating to the fans,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of it just lifts you. I mean, he shows a lot of passion. Clearly wants this club to do well. I mean, I know he's 36, but he has. I think a lot of people. I think he's underrated a bit. I
I
mean,
think he is
I
as
know
well.
Yeah, I know the fans do love him, but I mean, he's been criticised in the past. I mean, I keep saying
At Tottenham,
but
yeah.
yeah, at Tottenham, he wasn't
He was just,
rated
yeah, he was
really.
just he was just looked down on really because of his a couple of poor performances. But I think without Gomez, I've said it on numerous occasions. Without Gomez, I think we would have gone down last season. I don't know what you feel about that, but I think that's
I
probably,
agree.
yeah, you agree. Fair enough. I think a lot of fans probably like that, Watford fans, because last season probably that second half of the season was absolutely dire. But yeah, no, we want to look to the future now, not look at the past. But I mean, Gomez just a touch on it. I think he's just a really kind of he's a leader in on and off the pitch. I mean, Deeney summed up really well. He's just a great professional, really, and I just think for someone like Gomez to commit his future to Watford, like we would not have expected like a Brazilian goalkeeper who's played in the Premier League to commit his future once again to Watford is just great to see. And obviously, I think when he came in 2014-15, the 15 season when we got promoted, it was just when he signed, you just could tell the owner's ambition, because that's a Premier League goalie who's had offers from the Premier League to drop down a division because he's like shown the project by the Pozzo. So I just think it's credits to the owners really. Hopefully we can attract similar players, well, similar caliber players. Obviously Gomez did have a kind of a troubled past, but yeah, hopefully he'll be playing on Saturday in the Graham Taylor tribute match, which we'll talk about now. So we're facing Real Sociedad at 3 o'clock at Vicarage Road. Just purchased my ticket today on the Wednesday. So yeah,
Nice one.
I looked at the I think it was the ticket where it shows the stadium, which is a bit sold out. And I have to say, fair play to Watford fans. They've sold out effectively most of the ground. The whole Rookery sold out. The majority of the Elton John and the Graham Taylor sold out, and the away section and the family stands sold out. So really, really well done to Watford fans. But yeah, look, I mean, it's a friendly. It's coming up to the first week of the season, but how important is it to kind of just cement Mark Silva's tactics and ideas before that first game against Liverpool?
I think it's very important, to be honest, to get to cement those tactics, as you said, into the team. This game's going to be, I know it's a friendly, but this game's going to be, I think, pretty massive for us if we want to do well. Obviously, last season playing kind of 5-3-2 or 3-5-2, whatever it was at times, and then kept changing 3 at the back, but sometimes 4 as well. But this new formation has to be drilled into every single Watford player, whether you're going to get loads of game time or not too much. I think everyone needs to make sure that they understand this tactic inside out and know exactly what they're going to do and how to play under Marco Silva and what he wants.
Yeah, I couldn't echo that anymore, because although people look at it and go, it's a pre-season match, it's a Graham Taylor tribute match, and don't get me wrong, to remember the late Graham Taylor is obviously that's the key of the whole game, to remember Graham Taylor and what he's done. But at the same time, we've got to remember this is a friendly, and we don't want to be made and to look like mugs, if you know what I mean. So although it's going to be a tribute match and will be quite emotional for all the fans, to play Sociedad, they're no kind of rollovers, if you know what I mean. We're not going to go just turn up and beat them. And I think by the sounds of what Mark Silva was talking about, just to go off bit off topic and back to transfers, I mean, you look at another Graham Taylor memorial match last week at Villa Park against Aston Villa, obviously finished 0-0. And I think it was a press conference after, and it was really interesting to hear. I don't know how you take your opinions on this, but he kind of just said that he needs 5 or 6 more players before the season starts. Now, we're coming up. To look at my calendar, we have only got about a week and a half to the start of the season. I mean, unless they have deals in the pipeline, I mean, it is getting a little bit late, isn't it? I mean, I can't really see any more deals coming in. Maybe 1 or 2.
I agree. again, I keep saying I agree,
No,
but
it's
I
fair
do
enough.
genuinely. I can't see too many more deals going in. He says 5 or 6. I think if we're gonna get 5 or 6 more players, that would have to be in January. To be honest, and even that's a bit of a push. So maybe get 1 or 2 of them in now,
Yeah.
and then the rest of them in later. Because if we want to, as I was talking about earlier, and you were as well, drilling in the tactics to players coming in just now, and if he wants everyone to know the tactic inside out, it's not gonna work like that. I mean, you can't just learn a tactic. It's not that easy. It's not like you're in
Sunday League.
class. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sunday League Group
yeah, I
1
mean,
football.
I'm just a little bit. I mean, we've just been linked to so many kind of different players that haven't gone through. I mean, the latest one today was Omar Nias from Hull, and a lot of ex-Hull players that Mark Silva's worked for. So, for example, Abba Hernandez, Nias, Markovic, Rosicky, but none of those deals have come kind of to the fore. But I mean, I just think 5 or 6 players is just not going to happen. That is so unrealistic by the start of the season. But I just think it's kind of a little bit of a dig from Silva to kind of, in a good way, to kind of just shake up what's going on, because I don't think our squad's, by no means we're not going to get relegated, but I don't think where Silva wants to take these squads at the moment, I think he's probably eyeing mid-table, and I think he said to the Watford Observer how he wanted to try and beat the last 2 years, or kind of just improve on the last 2 years under the previous managers. But I just think it's come a little bit late, and you touched on it just earlier where you said even if they come in January, it's still just going to be a little bit too late. Middle of the season, you've seen how signings, when we signed them in January, it's just never really worked out. But I don't know, I can't really see us bringing in any more players. How many players do you think we'll get before the start of the season?
Realistically, I think maximum 2.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
I think it is it's getting a little bit late, because you think about it, I just don't think it's possible to bring 5 or 6 players. But hey ho, I think they're going to probably bring in 2 more. Hopefully, the Richarlison deal is going to be sealed. But that's the only real concrete transfer room we've had in a while. And like we touched on. I keep saying touched on, but we've looked at so many different rumours. Just to list them, we've looked at Gibbs, Abdenor, Hoban. Hoban's obviously going out, but Gibbs and Abdenor to come in. They're not near to completion at all. I mean, to get those 2 in, and Richarlison probably would be good business, but that's still 2 down. I think he's probably going to wait for 2 in the January transfer window. But yeah, just to continue on the Real Sociedad kind of preview of the game. I mean, it is going to be a really good atmosphere. Are you going to be watching it on stream, or?
No, I'll be going.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Oh, nice one. All right. No, because obviously you don't live near the stadium, so I was just wondering. Are you actually going?
Yeah.
Oh, nice one, mate.
Yeah.
That's quality. I mean, tickets. I think it's like £5 for an under 18, which is phenomenal. That is really good.
To be honest.
But they've just released a kind of I think it's like a kind of routine for what's going to happen on Saturday. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's not really worth doing a score prediction, because it's a little bit. I mean, you can if you want, but just a quick one before I go on to for prediction for the season. But what I just wanted to know from you is who you really look forward to seeing on Saturday and in a Watford shirt. Who you really look forward to seeing?
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Pereira. Definitely, I want to see more of Femenia as well, because I mean, I've seen like Chalobah and Hughes before. I mean, haven't seen much Femenia, so I want to see him, because again, foreign player. I want to see him how he's doing it again against a Spanish team, where obviously he's in Spanish league last season, so I think he will do quite well. But I do want to see a bit more of him. I think he was good in the last, but he was good against Aston Villa when he was on the pitch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing Pereira after such a kind of long spell out. And I mean, it was good to see Zarate also back in training, but Chalobah and Hughes, like you said, I'm also really just looking forward to seeing the Watford shirt. Obviously, Chalobah, hashtag Chalobah back. He will be back at Vicarage Road. But yeah, it's just a little thing to talk about. I mean, it's a couple of weeks after Chalobah signed, or 3 weeks after Chalobah signed, but it was just great to hear kind of how he still loves the club and how he just cherishes that loan spell in 2012-13. I mean, how delighted were you to see him come back to Watford?
Oh, I think I must have out 50 tweets about it.
Yeah.
Like 48 retweets, and then me just absolutely freaking out. I mean, I was going mental.
No,
I mean,
it was literally the same, because it was just a player that every single Watford fan was just just desperate. Like, we were just all desperate to see him come back. And I mean, I don't even get Chelsea sometimes. They got Bakayoko for 40 million, and we've got Chalobah for 5.5 to 7 million.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they bring up youth players, and they spend so much time in them. I guess a lot of money on them, and then just sell them on. I mean.
Yeah, and people go on about Chelsea's academy. Don't get me wrong; they're bringing through good players, but if you just look at, I think it's like 4 players have left. You look at Ola Aina has gone to Hull, Nathan Ake's gone to Bournemouth, Chalobah's gone to Watford, Ruben Loftus-Cheek has gone to Palace. It's just I do feel sorry for anyone coming through that Chelsea academy, but yeah, once again, really look forward to seeing Chalobah in a Watford shirt. And Will Hughes, I mean, from what I've seen in pre-season, he looks very, very good on the ball. What's your opinions on him so far?
I think he has looked, as you said, very good on the ball. He just looks like a player who kind of fit in at the side, kind of player that we need. And I think he will be really good for us. Obviously, speaking the language, it does really help. Obviously, coming from England, another homegrown player. Same with Chalobah. I mean, another homegrown player is really good.
Exactly. It's just good to see like an English core really in the midfield, especially just to see kind of players that know the league inside out, because we've been at fault for this over the last couple of seasons. We brought in players who just haven't really been accustomed to the league. They might be, I mean, take Berghuis for example. He might have been good in Holland, but where it's more kind of technical league, it's more kind of more keep ball. But when you get to the physical aspect of the Premier League, it's just a bit of a kind of shock to some players because they don't really expect it to be that physical. But yeah, I think it will just be great to see some of the players in a Watford shirt on Saturday, and obviously it'll be good to celebrate Graham Taylor's life at the game. Whereabouts are you sitting, Jude, in the stadium?
I'm in the Rookery end.
Rookery, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a season ticket. I have for ages now, to be honest.
So you do go to most home games this season?
Yeah, well, I think I will. Yeah, I will be able to make the first game Liverpool. We're at home, because I think I was gonna come back from holiday that day, and then it got moved to early kick-off. So come back the day earlier.
Work it around the football. Love that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think if you've got to the podcast this far, then fair play. And also, just to say, after the Sociedad game, I don't know if Jude, if you want to get involved, but I'm going to be outside doing a couple of interviews with some of the fans, just outside the Hornet shop, I think, just because a lot of fans will be there. So we'll be there for around half an hour after kickoff if you want to give your thoughts on just the season ahead. And kind of just the game in general. So I don't know if you'd be up for that, Jude, but yeah, we'll be speaking to some fans.
Yeah.
And just lastly, to round up this podcast, it's been really enjoyable. We're going to be talking about the prediction for the season. Just a quick prediction. So Jude, go ahead, fire away.
I think realistically, I've said realistically a lot. I've said a lot of words, a lot. I'm getting confused here, but I think we will finish as mid-table, kind of 12th. I think that would be a really good finish in Marco Silva's first season at Watford, and I think that's kind of the a target that we kind of should be setting ourselves around that kind of position.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I think I agree with you that you can't be I think, like Marcus Silva said, the main ambition for Watford, we're Watford at the end of the day. Our main objective to start is to stay up. Obviously, like last season, we don't want to be flirting with relegation come the end of the season, come May. So, I think like you said, the ambition should be kind of hitting that 13th, 12th, maybe even top half 11th. That's probably where we should be aiming this season. I think between 14th and 11th, that's probably where Marcus Silva's probably looking at. But he's only had one pre-season to kind of implement his ideas. I think I've said this on a couple of tweets that I think he is the man that could take Watford forwards and could really kind of expand the club, because he's got European experience, he's now got Premier League experience. Although, and what really annoys me, I don't know how you feel about this, but what really annoys me is when you get these fans who, not Watford fans actually, it's more kind of fans from other clubs who look at it go, well, Silva, he got relegated with Hull last season. And I'm just thinking, you just got to look at Hull. They had an owner who's awful. He came in with literally no funds and almost saved them up with 2 games to go. I mean, I just don't understand anyone who can kind of be against him and say, oh, you've signed a relegated manager.
Again, I think you're completely right there. He came in to a very poor team. As you said, no funds. It didn't really know didn't really have time to do what he wanted to do with his Premier League team, and it was going to always be really hard to keep them up.
Yeah, an uphill task really. And he did bring in a couple of loans like Grzycki and Markovic, who have been linked to Watford. But I just think you just got. I think anyone who's thinking that, you just got to look, like me and Judah just said, what he's done for Hull. I mean, to give them even a glimmer of hope for that team is remarkable. So I really rate Marcus Silva. I was about to say fair play, Marcus Silva, as if he's watching this. But I think, like I said, my prediction's probably between 14th and 11th. I'm going to go for. I think Watford will finish 13th this season. I think I'd be really happy with that. But I think the owners have got a project that Marcus Silva was reiterated on numerous occasions, how the Pozzos kind of laid out a plan and what they envisage Watford being in, say, 3 years. And we'll have to wait and see where that ends up. But yeah, it's been a really enjoyable and fun podcast to do. Thanks to Jude for coming on. Really appreciate your time. And we'll try and get, the whole point of this podcast is try and get fans with different opinions and with different views on the club and how it's being run and topics like we've talked about today. So let me know in the comment section if you have enjoyed this first podcast. Remember to like the podcast, not the video. Like the podcast and video if you have enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to see more of these podcasts and Watford fan content. And Jude, do you want to say anything? Anything else? Goodbye or anything?
Yeah, not really, but yeah, see you guys.
See you later, guys. Yeah, thanks for watching. Want to watch another video? Click the video tab on screen now to watch it in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our WDA team logo on the left and hit that red button.